Hey everybody, this is Brian with Bear Cards 34. Today I'm going to be casting my nominees for the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. And I really like the rules for this year, even though they were really tough for me. But Legends Never Die has kind of taken over the mantle for the Hall of Fame voting. And one of the things that was mentioned in his instructional on the video was that the channels nominated needed to have been around for 3 years. When I first had the idea of putting this together, I could think of dozens of channels that are very worthy of the Hall of Fame, great channels that I love. And if you've seen me interact on your channels or comment on those, then you guys probably know who you are. However, a lot of those did not reach the threshold of 3 years. Myself included, right, as far as like how long we've been doing channels. I think I'm a little over a year, maybe a year and a half now, and I think a lot of the channels that I follow and love are in that same category, about a year or so. We've had quite a bit of channels start up, especially since like 2020 and everything happened. And so I think once we get another year and a half into this, I think there are going to be a lot of really good channels, and I think that Legends Never Die will definitely have his work cut out for him tabulating those results. But there's still a lot of great channels and a lot of worthy nominees. I'm going with just a handful. You can pick up to 10. I think I picked, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I'm going to be doing. 6 that I'm going to be doing. Never mind. So I've got 6 nominees here. I actually was going through and there were some channels that I thought maybe were at the 3-year mark but are not yet. I may have missed a few, and I'll be kicking myself later, so if that's the case, I apologize. But here are my nominees. Okay, first up for me is Bears9 McMahon. What a great name for a channel, right? I'm not biased at all, right? So anyway, this is a channel that I stumbled across a while back after I got back into the hobby. Actually, it was a few years after I got back into the hobby, but just after I started getting into YouTube videos related to sports cards. So my channel obviously is a play off of Packer Cards 87 because he was the first one that I found when I did a YouTube search of sports cards or football cards, and that one came up. He's quite popular. And so Bears9 McMahon is one I kind of stumbled upon soon after that. And I always loved his videos because he collected cards that I loved, that I was very interested in. And he's got a really good channel. He was away for a little bit, but he's come back into it again recently, which is great to see. And he has some great videos. He gets a lot of Jim McMahon cards. His Jim McMahon collection is absolutely amazing. I love his mail days. Sometimes he doesn't have the best of luck with how people package and ship the cards he orders, and I'm sure it's not amusing to him, but as a viewer for me it is kind of amusing to kind of see his reaction to those. And I think we've all been there where we just kind of shake our heads at what someone was thinking. The one that I remember best was he had one of those playbook cards that you open up, the long cards, and in the description it had it in one of the big long top loader or mags. And anyway, he received a notice after he purchased the cards saying that the seller could not fit that into the package in the mag, and so he folded it and just put it in bubble wrap. The card actually looked to turn out okay, but I could see how that would be pretty nerve-wracking to get something like that. But he has a great channel, amazing collection, so I highly recommend you guys check out his channel if you haven't already. Okay, next up for me is Vikings95. Sam over at Vikings95 has a really good channel. He puts out a lot of content, and the thing with Sam is he does a great job with all of his videos. He opens stuff, he collects stuff, he does a lot of eBay purchases, and he does a lot of like mystery packs and things like that to kind of show us what we might expect if we were to purchase any of those. But he has a great channel. Lots of fun watching his videos. He's engaged with the community, and you can tell that he's a real collector. He really seems to enjoy the cards, which I always like. I'm interested in the value of cards and what we see from the hobby and the investments and all of that. I'm interested in that to a point, but I get a little bit turned off when it's all about the numbers and the graphs. To me, it's about the cards, the players, the history, and just, you know, the love of the hobby. And it really comes out with somebody like Vikings 95. So he is my second nominee for this Hall of Fame voting. All right, next up, I've got Frank Specie, Frank J.R. Specie. He's got a great channel. He puts out a lot of content, and he's just a collector. He loves collecting. He loves the hobby, so he has a lot of sports card videos, which would include football, baseball, basketball. He likes the vintage, the modern, the junk wax era. He collects a lot of other stuff as well. He loves to do dad jokes. He's got a lot of great content out there. And he's here in the state of Utah like I am. He's one of the only people from the YouTube community that I met on the YouTube community and then actually met in real life as well. He has a really good channel, very entertaining, and one of the things he does is he has these J.R. Specie hot packs that you can purchase, and I've purchased a few of those. You may have seen them on my channel. This is one of the cards that I got in there, and that was a nice one for me, the 98 Stadium Club Jerry Rice Leading Legends, because that was at a time in my collecting that I was out of the hobby for years. So I left in 95, and I didn't get back into it for almost a decade after that. So it's nice to get the cards from that black era of my collecting. Really nice card there. But JR's got a great channel, a lot of entertaining videos. He does food challenges and lots of other stuff too. So if you haven't already checked out his channel, I definitely would recommend that. But he's my next nominee for the Hall of Fame. All right, next up, I've got the guy who's taken over the mantle of this, which is Legends Never Die. Legends Never Say Die, my bad. So he's got a great channel. I used to follow him under his old name, The Ticket Leprechaun, as well. He's one of the guys who I watch his videos on and off pretty regularly. I don't comment, or I'm not as active on his videos as maybe I should be, but he always puts out really good content. And what I really like with him is, again, he loves the hobby. He loves vintage. He's got modern. He has, I think University of North Carolina, among other PCs. But he just really is a very supportive person in the community, so I could see why he's taken the mantle of running this thing. And so I wanted to give him a shout out on here as well. Now, I was looking for Legends Never Say Die in the Hall of Fame, the current Hall of Famers. I don't remember seeing him under the name The Ticket Leprechaun, so if you're in there, let me know. But if not, definitely would recommend him. And I will say there were a few channels that I had planned to vote for, such as Those Back Pages, the Mangini Collection, Dustin and Blake. There were a handful that I had planned to nominate. They're already in, so congrats, guys, on being in there. But yeah, Legends Never Say Die. I know he's a big fan of The Sandlot. That movie was actually filmed here in the state of Utah, where I'm from. That's a fun movie. And yeah, so definitely, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably very familiar with his channel and his content. But if not, definitely go check him out. And I think he'd be well deserving of the Hall of Fame. All right, next up, I got my guy Tony Black for this. Now, his channel is well more than 3 years old. However, I did look back, and I think his sports card content started just a little bit before, I think it was like April of 2019. So we're almost at the 3-year mark with sports card content. So I'm hoping that one will apply, since his channel is well over the 3 years, and he's been very active for nearly 3 years as far as sports card content. He may even have videos older than April of 2019, but that's as far back as I noticed. But he's a great member of the community, a big support to other channels, and he's got some great video content. He does the kind of stuff that I love. So he does TTM videos. He's got a great collection, but he doesn't just show the cards that are returned. He'll tell a little bit about the players who sign the cards, and it's a chance to kind of learn more about those people. So he's a big Notre Dame fan. I'm a big fan of Notre Dame, but he's a really big fan of Notre Dame. This is one of the TTMs I got from when I was a kid, which was the Tim Brown Pro Set autograph. And so I was kind of highlighting that one with representation to Tony Black. Again, he's a big member of the community. You may be familiar with him already, but if not, definitely give him a look-see. All right, next up, I've got Brandon Stebbins. So another great member of the community, someone who's been very supportive of my channel and a bunch of other channels that I enjoy. He's got great video content, consistently puts stuff out, and he does a lot of TTM stuff as well. This right here was, again, another TTM I got as a kid, this one from John Kidd, the Chargers punter. Brandon is a Chargers fan, if I remember correctly. He's got some great videos, you know, of collecting cards, mail days, TTMs. Just a great member of the community. Really good channel. Definitely worthy of consideration into the Hall of Fame. So definitely check out his channel if you haven't already as well. All right, so those are my nominations for the Hall of Fame for this year. And last up, we have the Joe Ryan Fan 30 Good Guy Award. Now, I was not familiar with Joe Ryan 30, but after learning about him, I went back and kind of checked out some of the videos that people had as a response to him and his life and what he meant to them in the hobby. Sounds like he was a very good guy, and I think this is a super cool award. And my understanding, if I've got this right, is this does not have to be a member who has been in the community for 3 years or more. And so I had a really hard time with this one because there were a lot of names that I wanted to pick for this. And so what I did is I wrote down the names of all the channels that I would consider for this, and then I just randomly picked one out of a ball cap. And so I was, you know, definitely excited to give this guy a shout out based on that. So this right here is a Dan Hampton autograph that was actually sent to me as part of a care package from this guy. So my next, the award for the Joe Ryan Fan 30 Good Guy is Ed over at Angry Old Man. He has one of the most impressive autograph collections I've ever seen. In fact, even if all you did was look at the wall behind, you know, in the background of his videos, that in and of itself is a lot to process with how awesome it is. So he has great videos that he puts out. He's a really friendly guy, really supportive of the community, and a true collector. Just a great channel, great guy. And again, with his videos, you know, you really get to see a lot of not just the autographs, but the player behind it, you know. So, and that's, if you guys watch my channel at all, you know, I love that kind of stuff. You know, my favorite videos are the show and tells and just doing a deep dive into the sets and the players. You know, vintage stuff, junk wax era, modern, I love it all. And you know, Ed's channel is one that I just love to watch because, you know, I'm always learning new stuff, and great channel. So I think this is a very good award for him. And like I said, it was really tough for me because I had a bunch of people that I had in consideration, and it was just hard for me to pick one, to just single one person out. So this, to me, was the best way I could do it and still feel good about it. So Ed, just a nice shout out for you there. I hope you're doing well, and again, thanks for this awesome autograph to add to my collection for the Bears. All right, so that completes my nominees for this year's YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. Thanks everybody who took the time to watch, and please check out those channels if you haven't already. As far as this Legends Never Die, please let me know if I have any errors in my selections. I'll be happy to correct that if I need to. But thank you very much for everything. And yeah, definitely check out Legends Never Die. Great channel. And, you know, now that I think about it, I think it is Legends Never Die. You know what I think I'm doing? As a giant Goonies fan, I think I've mixed up Goonies Never Say Die with Legends Never Die. So let's, there we go. All right, Legends Never Die. But also Goonies Never Say Die. Both things are true. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Definitely check out those channels. Have a great rest of your week. I had a great weekend watching some amazing games in the NFL. So even if your team, like mine, is, you know, out of the playoffs and never got there to begin with, you know, there's been some really fun, exciting games. Hope everyone's doing well. and I'll be back with more videos in the near future. Everybody take care, and good luck not just to the people that I nominated for this, but to all those who are being nominated. I've got to tell you guys, as great as it is to probably be selected for this Hall of Fame, I think it's, just having other, peers in the community nominating, it says a lot about your channel. So not just to the ones that I picked, but the ones that I've been observing and hearing about. I think this is a great idea. And for Legends Never Die, also known as Legends Never Say Die, thank you very much for taking the time and energy and effort to put this together, to bring the community together, to to build the community. And again, the positive stuff in the community is really what we need. I do want to mention real quick, the reason I showed, I think I left this off, but the reason I showed this for Legends Never Die was I remember he had a video where he had purchased a Ken Griffey Project 70, and he talked about how he actually had, he purchased 10 of them, and by the time he had them, he mentioned that they weren't worth even maybe half of what he had paid for them. And he had the moral of the story come up on the screen that was, collect what you love. And that is definitely my theme in the hobby. Collect what you love. That way you'll never be real disappointed. Again, it's not about the graphs and the charts and all that. And of course we want cards that are rare and special and valuable. And I mean, it makes it more fun, right? But if you collect what you love, you've got that going for you. For example, I'm a Jordan Love collector because he went to my alma mater of Utah State. He may be a complete bust. I have no idea. But I will never regret having all of his rookie cards that I have. I'll never regret that collection. A guy like James Brooks, who was an awesome running back for the Bengals, and even before that, the Chargers in the NFL in the 80s and early 90s, I loved James Brooks, and so I love his cards. So if I have a 1987 PSA 10 of his because that was one of my favorite cards of his, it's not worth a whole lot, but it is to me because, that was a player that I loved as a kid. And so, again, collect what you love. Good advice from Legends Never Die. And everybody, feel free to comment on my video if you guys have any questions or comments about these great channels. I'd love to hear about that from you guys. Thanks, everybody, and I'll be back with more videos soon. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.